What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, I'm going to be going through talking about my squad for King of the Court today in NBA 2K26 MyTEAM. Now, we're going to start, we'll hover over my best squad that I can run, but then we're going to break it down a little bit more into the different variables that I can go to, that I can turn to, that I do believe could possibly help my squad out. Also, I want you guys to know and realize, like, my cards are souped, okay? So I looked at this earlier. Like, my Penny Hardaway, for example, has 3 Legends, 24 Hall of Famers. My Joel Embiid has 4 Legends, 21 Hall of Famers. My SGA, 5 Legends, 20 Hall of Famers. So, like, my cards are souped up, okay? Newsflash, my cards are really good. And that's the main reason that I'm grinding the game. Like, even Triple Threat Park. I probably wouldn't even be playing Triple Threat Park this, as much as I am, at least for sure, if it weren't for the ladder rewards. Because, for example, in Triple Threat Park, I like getting to the 15 win streak for the Hall of Fame badge. But more importantly, guys, I want to get to eventually 350 wins for the season mode completion reward for more legend badges. And I know it doesn't sound like the craziest thing in the world, but that is ultimately where I'm wanting to go. So, I want to talk you through the squads that I could possibly go out there with. And again, this is just me talking with you. This is subject to change. I change my squads from the time I start King of the Court to the time I end King of the Court, whether I have losses, whether I'm where I'm at. And a lot of people are like, Ty, you had 2 losses last week. You didn't deserve to win King of the Court. Okay, one of those losses came with the 5-man squad, because I feel like you have to run the 5-man squads to maximize points. Another loss came by matching the same dude I had just beat by 20. And so, yeah, I had 2 losses, but at the end of the day, like, they give you 3 for a reason, right? Like, that's part of King of the Court and the way that things go. So I just kind of want you guys to know and realize that, like, yeah, it is what it is. But I never want to lose. But again, it is part of the system that we do have. And again, it changes your strategy for sure, right? Like, if I had endless losses, my strategy would be way different than if I had 1 loss, right? And so those are the things that I obviously think about on a somewhat consistent basis. So this is, I do believe, and again, this is subject to change, I do believe this is the squad I'm going to start today with. Now, Chris Bosh is not a card that I necessarily, I'm trying to find the right words for it. He's not a card that is necessarily a card I love or am going to run forever, but he is a card that I can trust on the court and that is going to knock down shots at a higher level. So, I mean, those couple of things for me are why I really do like Chris Bosh, because again, he knocks down shots consistently. I don't really hate what he gives me on the floor. So I think Chris Bosh does what I need him to do. And at the end of the day, the squad either looks like this, it looks like this, or it looks like this. Like, I can turn to different things. But at the end of the day, I think what gives me the most opportunity for floods and for the, you know, a squad I'm comfortable with, it is this squad right here, right? Now, my SGA obviously is souped and offensively ridiculously good. My Scottie Pippen is souped ridiculously good. Same thing with my Bron, same thing with the Embiid card. Just trying to, again, surround them with pieces to the puzzle. Now, something else I could turn to, and again, these are just things that I've thought about, is, okay, what if I run, like, you know, an Amethyst in here that lessens my overall, right? Which I obviously could, you know, go and do, or even like a, you know, Sapphire or Ruby. Like, I've messed around with different things that obviously I think could, you know, could help me out in the long term. But at the end of the day, I do believe the 88 overall is kind of that perfect middle ground, right? Where your squad's good enough to win on a consistent basis, but it's not crazy good, right? It's not a squad that, you know, is a 95 overall in which I'm not going to get any points for. So this is a squad I definitely think I'll start the weekend with, and we'll go from there. Now, some adjustments that I could make is I could put in Cam Reddish and I could put in Robert Covington. The problem is that only drops my overall to an 86, and I feel like I lose a lot by going to this squad. I feel like genuinely, if I want to go to a squad that's rough or not nearly as good, I'd have to plug in Siakam and maybe even, you know, a different center so I can, you know, really drop it even worse or make it even worse. I feel like to make things really crazy, I'd need to get that overall to an 84, which again, I'd have to adjust things in a big time way to do. Maybe it'd be running MPJ at the 4, something like that. But again, that keeps it too high. So maybe Larry Markkinen is the guy I would turn to. A squad like this could possibly be in the cards. Could also go something, you know, like this. Maybe run a guy like, I don't know, if Penny Hardaway changes this squad at all compared to a guy like SGA, These are the things that, again, I would have to mess around with. But again, I feel like if I run this squad, number one, I could lose way more games. And number two, I'm just not as confident or comfortable with that type of squad. And so, again, that's why I'm going to start with my, good squad and go from there. Now, I also will say this. There might be a time where I do run my best overall squad, especially if I get 2 losses, and depending where other people's scores on, I might have to be more aggressive, less aggressive, but I could turn to my full squad, and if I do that, this is what these full squad would indeed look like, right? We could look at a guy like, a 95 overall, a guy like Penny Hardaway, Andrew Wiggins, Bazelis, KG, and Sigma on the bench. Now, again, the problem to this is my squad is a 95 overall, and again, it's way harder to get, when I say max points, like the difference between getting like 3,500 and 3,400 is the lineup overall, right? And so again, I obviously with this squad, I can still get a lot of points, but I somewhat limit myself in how many points I truly can get. So yes, I do like this squad. However, I don't think I'm going to start with it. If it comes down to it and I have to go with this squad, that is okay. But at the end of the day, I'm not hoping to have to run a full squad because, again, it is harder to get max points. And again, that's all this game mode is about. Getting 4 games that are your max scores. And again, they can come they can come early, they can come late. It really does not matter. But I feel like since I've figured out somewhat of how the scoring is working, I've been able to score a lot of points on a pretty consistent basis. Again, my squad is obviously souped. It's ready to go. I could run Penny over SGA. Again, I just think offense is important, especially having a guy that I can go get a bucket with on a consistent basis. I feel like that's something that's not always just easy to do, is go get a bucket. It's part of the reason I'm running Chris Bosh, at least to start, over Kevin Garnett, is because I can go get a bucket with Chris Bosh with that release way easier than I can with KG. A lot of people might be asking me, Ty, why don't you spend some of your MT and go get a Cooper Flag or Kawhi Leonard to replace Bazelis? Now, that is a good question, and it's something I've thought about. The problem with it is I think I'm at the point with my squad where if I'm gonna spend, I want to make a massive upgrade to the squad, and I just don't know if that's the massive upgrade that I'm looking for, especially given I've got LeBron James. LeBron James is going to play the most at the small forward position anyways, and so I don't really see a need to have Bron and Cooper Flag or Bron and somebody else that's really good. Same reason I didn't want to go and get Hakeem Olajuwon, because I've already have Joel Embiid, KG, Jack Sigma, and Bosh, all cards that I really do love. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with things. Obviously, again, this squad is subject to change throughout the weekend, but again, these 3, my 1 through 3, are probably not going to change all weekend, right? I might run KG over Bosh, might run Sigma over Embiid. Those guys could possibly change. And again, if I need a big game at the end, I might even try to get my team to an 82-83 overall just to see if I can get the one game I need. It's all about, strategy, adjusting your squad, trying to figure out the best way to get max points. And again, without losing. Like last week was one of the rare weeks in which I did have 2 losses early on. So I'm trying to improve that, obviously, for the future. But that's kind of what my squad looks like for this weekend. The different ins and outs that I can go to, that I can pivot to try to make my squad in the best position possible. Really, the only reason I'm grinding this game on a somewhat consistent basis is to try to make my players better. Like I said today, I literally gave my Shea off Bapest and my Bron handles for days. Such a minor difference, but that could be the difference from me winning King of the Court and losing King of the Court. And I know it sounds silly, but even my Park win streak today, I gave Shea half limitless, right? Could be the difference between winning King of the Court and losing King of the Court. So those are kind of the things that I'm really grinding the game modes for right now. I know it sounds silly, I know it sounds stupid, but even, grinding this bounce stats out, right? It sounds so silly, but am I gonna go grind these bounce stats out? Honestly, probably. And again, it sounds so silly and like, why? But at the end of the day, if I can get an extra Hall of Fame badge to help my squad out, why would I not, right? That's just kind of the mindset that I'm approaching it. Why not? So that's really where I'm at with things. You guys can let me know your thoughts on things down below in the comments. What are your thoughts on my squad? Are you playing in King of the Court? Honestly, these King of the Court rewards are terrible. Like, honestly, they're terrible. If I was an average player, there is a 0% chance that I would load up King of the Court. That's just me being completely honest with you. Because again, if you're not finishing in the top 1%, the rewards are so terrible and there's no incentive to play. So again, that's just kind of where I'm at, being completely honest with you guys. It's like, if I was an average player, there's literally no reason to load it up. Obviously, if you want to compete and you like King of the Court, then play it if you have fun with it. But I'm just saying, for the average person, the triple threat park rewards, in my opinion, are more rewarding than trying to load up King of the Court and getting top 10% for a diamond card that's probably not going to play. It just seems so counterintuitive from where we started with the King of the Court rewards from where we are at now. But that's going to wrap it up for our video. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.